In the immediate aftermath of a death, the initial psychological impact often feels like total paralysis for the family. That silence is quickly broken by a flood of practical demands. Phones ring constantly, relatives organize travel, costs begin to appear before the family has even had a moment to process the loss. Unlike Western traditions, where a single executor might lead the process, a Ghanaian funeral is a communal undertaking. It involves the nuclear family, extended relatives, traditional elders, church leaders, and the diaspora. This collective approach is a mark of respect, but it carries a risk. With so many voices involved at once, the family faces the possibility of logistical paralysis or internal conflict. To manage this, families look toward a specific cultural milestone, the one-week funeral observance. Held roughly 7 days after the passing, this gathering is more than a visit to mourn. It is the specific moment when the family begins moving from the shock of the event toward a structured plan for the funeral ahead. The observance is a focused gathering. In a courtyard or family home, elders speak, relatives listen, and the family begins to address the what happens next. The summit creates a recognized space for shared mourning, while simultaneously forcing the family to agree on their first practical steps. The first of these is establishing leadership. The family must explicitly decide who will speak for them, who will coordinate with the elders, and who handles contact with external vendors. If this leadership is left unclear at the one-week mark, every subsequent decision, from church bookings to mortuary services, can be delayed by confusion. Once the spokespeople are identified, the family turns to the funeral date, the logistical anchor for everything that follows. This selection is rarely simple. It requires balancing local factors, like church and venue availability, against the travel timelines required for diaspora family members to fly home. By confirming who is coordinating the process and setting a preliminary timeline, the family replaces the initial panic with a shared direction. With the timeline set, the gathering moves into the design phase. This is where the family decides the character and scale of the upcoming funeral. They must decide if the event will be a modest, private burial or a larger public gathering, and how to combine family customs with church traditions. These choices lead directly to the budget. Between transport, canopies, catering, and printing, funeral costs in Ghana can rise quickly. Discussing these expected costs and determining who will contribute during this meeting is how families prevent resentment and financial conflict later in the process. The final step of the observance is establishing a strategy for public communication. Relying on a fragmented stream of phone calls and WhatsApp forwards often leads to errors. If a date or venue detail is miscommunicated once, the wrong information can spread through the entire network in hours. Addressing leadership, timing, tone, budget, and outreach at the one-week mark ensures the deceased is honored with care rather than rushed through a series of expensive mistakes. As the observance ends, the family has a structure in place. The new challenge is sharing that structure with the wider world. They now face the daunting task of accurately delivering the funeral details to hundreds of people across local and international borders. This is where digital tools like Ghana Memorial support the process. They don't replace the tradition of the one-week gathering. They provide a way to scale the decisions made there. A centralized funeral page solves the communication bottleneck. By hosting dates, venue details, and live stream links in one location, the family provides a single source of truth for both local relatives and the diaspora. This infrastructure also simplifies the financial and emotional support. Condolences and donations return to the center through secure links, allowing the family to track contributions without the stress of manual record keeping. The one-week observance provides the framework for the journey ahead. When these traditional decisions are supported by practical tools, the family can move from the initial shock toward an organized remembrance.